Now, let's have a little chat. I am a big supporter of efficiency. Very big supporter of efficiency. So much that it gets confused with laziness. I like to see when things work smoothly, and sometimes it involves a little bit of upfront work. And let's emphasize a little bit in comparison to the time it takes to slowly roll things out over a large period of time. We get the words thrown around incremental or slow implementation. But the reality of it is ripping the band-aid off usually ends up being the best scenario. So let's look at something. Let's say you are at a quick service restaurant and there are two sides of the sandwich making table. On one side, we have the consumer. On the other side, we have the employees. Now, let's take a look from the consumer side. From an efficiency standpoint, we have a number of different individuals. We have some that come in there that know exactly what they want. Now, usually that comes from experience. They've been in that shop. They're aware of what they want to come in there for, and they are ready to go with money in hand and the decision they have at play. Now, there are some that have a predictive nature that know they are about to go into a sandwich shop, know what they like, and can very rapidly pick the things that they enjoy. What happens if you are an individual that is not in that boat? You come into a sandwich shop, you forgot your wallet in the car, you may have brought a small coin purse with not the right change. You look at the options in there, but you're not quite sure what blends well together, and then you end up causing a delay in the process. Well, these sort of delays are no different than any other industry. That same process of going into a scenario not knowing what you want can cause massive delays for those who do the work. So let's take architecture, for instance, and the development. If you are a developer and you come into a project without clear understanding of requirements for that project, what can happen? Well, you come into that place with a mindset that you are ready to get a sandwich. You are ready to go. I have my money somewhere. I am all excited. The problem is the efficiency of that process gets lost if your requirements aren't put together the second you get in that door. So think about getting halfway through that process and then deciding, maybe I actually didn't want that. I want something else on that sandwich. Now we've got to go back to square one, or make it so that you're in a standoff with the individuals that are on the other side of the counter. So if we put it in that sense, if we strip things back, you come into that place prepared, know what you're looking for, that sandwich will get made quickly, come prepared with the money in hand that you're looking for, and then that deal gets quickly done. Let's take a look at the other side of the table. The other side of the table from the employee's standpoint. So every person behind that table in a QSR has been trained to do certain tasks. In most cases, when it comes to sandwich making, they are trained, all of them, on how to make all sandwiches. If a quick service restaurant that makes sandwiches was to train one individual to put tomatoes on, one individual to put lettuce on, another individual put this, what happens when one of those individuals cannot make it to work? Is that one other individual going to lose his mind because he hasn't seen a tomato be put on a sandwich before? Is he going to stand up and say, it's not my job, I'm not the tomato person? No, because the collective experience of the whole team would make sandwich making a lot easier. When you have shift work or you have individuals taking over certain aspects of it, You want the entire team to be raised up to the level that you want it to be at. So why should that be different for architects, engineers, etc.? Why are we splitting up team members into smaller chunks and allowing one individual to hold the key for the whole office when we can train the majority of the office to be able to tackle things that are beyond their spectrum? So that allows a company to pivot and be more flexible during RFP time when you have projects that are difficult and you're finding staffing issues for one area. We've now raised the talent pool up so that we can balance this equation, so that we can now pick and choose individuals from a greater audience within your own firm. So when looking at both sides of it, if we have an efficient team that can jump over and take on tasks that the other may to be too busy to do, and I'm not just talking like, among all the juniors, bringing them up to the same level. I'm talking about the project managers who typically do not get time to be trained or refuse training because they're too busy. We now need to take them and train them as well in different aspects so that they can understand the hurdles that they're running from, and then taking it a step further and also training executive team members to be at that level. Take a look at those TV shows that you would see, Undercover Boss. Do you think it's a rude awakening for them to come down to the consumer level to see how their quick service sandwiches are being made? Of course it is. Rooting themselves into the core of what their company was to start with, and then really becoming part of it to understand how that works, can help influence the decisions that are made going forward. So, why am I saying all this? Because there needs to be an overhaul in the process that we're looking at from both the client side and the working side. When we have a look at this as a whole, we can really help cure some issues. So, dig deep, make a good sandwich. Come prepared.